This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
We can take lots of flights, but just the younger kids kind of stick in your head a little bit more.
New at 11, a teenager reunites with the crew that lifted him to safety after his flu virus turned into almost deadly complications. Tonight, Josh Roy continues his recovery at Riley Hospital for Children. We are sharing his story as another reminder that the flu can be dangerous for all ages. And health officials say it's not too late to get your shot.
RTV6's Cornelius Hawker was there as Josh and his family reconnected with the Lifeline crew who helped save his life.
Since October, 13-year-old Josh Roy has been at Riley Hospital for Children, recovering from a near-death experience with the flu.
This is just the flu. Anybody can catch it.
Matthew Ramsier is the nurse who was on the Lifeline helicopter, which flew Josh from an Anderson area hospital to Riley.
These younger kids, what we think are normally really healthy, they can have a souped-up response and get really sick like this.
The Lifeline crew got there just in time because for Josh, the flu virus brought on even more complications, septic shock and hypoxia. Once he got to Riley, Josh was on life support for 54 days.
I felt really bad. I mean, really felt for his mom and his family in that situation because it seemed like such a sudden onset of this illness.
Amy Maychak was the paramedic on the life flight. She tells me everyone can learn something from Josh's story.
Be mindful always, when you're getting sick, follow up with a physician.
Across the board, anybody needs to be aware and obviously get the flu shot. And even if it doesn't prevent the illness overall, it'll lessen the symptoms. You're riding on this thing right here. Yep. And then Amy was over in this seat. Bob's our pilot. Bob was flying you, and I was sitting over there. Right? I'm sure you don't remember a single thing, do you? No.
This is very different from the last time Josh was in this helicopter. Now, with his strength and stamina returning, Josh doesn't want much other than to get back to being a normal teenager. He'll have a chance to do just that, thanks in big part to this Lifeline crew.
Hey, we really appreciate you guys. I mean, without you guys, we probably wouldn't have sun.
Now, if everything goes as planned, Josh will be out of the hospital next Tuesday, and his stay in the hospital will total 100 days.
And Cornelius, watching that story, it's heartbreaking and so difficult to see a child in condition like that, just so sick.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was just very jarring knowing that this kid, 13 years old, healthy, his mom says, never any problems, and then boom, got the flu and, almost died. So it's just another reminder, if you don't have the flu shot, definitely go out there and get it because health officials say it's still spreading.
All right, thank you, Cornelius, for that story and bringing awareness to that. And there are several places where you can get flu shots. Of course, you can go to your primary care doctor, but you can also stop at urgent care clinics and drugstores like CVS or Walgreens.
An Indianapolis community is coming together and urging others to do the same to learn how to handle the nationwide opioid crisis. RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows you why neighbors on the southwest side are learning how to use Narcan and why they say you should too.
This is a shot of Narcan. It's small, powerful, and could save your life. So much so that health experts are saying it is now as essential as a fire extinguisher.
Well, it's vital at this time. Losing 115 people a day is critical. And so, since we are in the middle of this epidemic, we need to be paying attention.
As America's opioid epidemic continues to touch families across the country, residents in Decatur Township are preparing to respond to the issue head on.
So you're going to hold your thumb on the bottom of the plunger.
They are learning how to administer Narcan, a life-saving substance designed to stop an opioid overdose.
I had a niece that passed away of a drug overdose in April of 2017.
Kelly Ivy says her 22-year-old niece passed away while in a recovery program in Florida. But when her niece overdosed, she was not given a shot of Narcan, which could have allowed her to recover from the overdose in a matter of seconds. Kelly says until the nation nationwide problem is solved, she's hoping more communities provide training on how to handle an emergency that could occur at any time.
I just say it doesn't hurt. I mean, sit through a 20, 25-minute lesson on it. You become a little bit more educated. Like, that is just, like you said, just as important as having a fire extinguisher in your home.
Deetra Coleman with the Marion County Public Health Department says the opioid epidemic does not discriminate. And with training, anyone may be able to make the difference when they least expect it.
If you ran into an individual that you think is experiencing an opioid overdose and you're able to administer to them and you save their life, that's a life.
Working for you in Indianapolis, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
And the Marion County Health Department has seen an increase in requests for Narcan training. You can find out when the next training is or set up one for your community by contacting your county health department.
Now to the Storm Team 6 forecast. It is a cold night. Temperatures are in the 20s right now. Kevin joins us now, helping you prepare for what's ahead. And it was quite shocking going outside tonight, Kevin.
And that just gets us ready for what's to come, because the coldest air not arriving until on Sunday. Dry and cold in the morning. Then it's all about this advisory tomorrow evening for snow, freezing rain, and then eventually changing to all rain. That goes into effect, as I mentioned, at 7 o'clock. And that's just when it's entering southwest Indiana, Terre Haute, Bloomington. That's the line by 9 o'clock tomorrow night. I'll finish this timeline in a bit. I just wanted to let you know during the daylight hours tomorrow will be dry. The freezing rain potential, just light freezing rain, but in addition, some very light snow. That combination may make for some slick streets tomorrow night before temperatures climb above freezing. Then we'll also talk about the cold blast on the way coming up.
Well, stay alert. A woman is sharing that message after a scary experience in downtown Indianapolis.
My dogs were already alerted, and that's when he started screaming, "I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill your dogs."
Emily Smith is a dog trainer. Her two dogs were with her on Georgia Street when a man approached her making threats. Emily says her dogs protected her the entire time.
I was in no fear for me. I was in fear for him because I knew I was safe with my little guys.
Emily says the man eventually ran away. She called police to report the incident. Self-defense experts want you to know you don't need dogs or weapons to protect yourself. Working for you, we went to the School for Self-Defense in Carmel. Instructors say always pay attention to your surroundings, avoid conflict, and learn how to de-escalate situations to try to avoid fighting altogether. But if those things don't work,
instinct would say just defend yourself and run, right? But the thing is, if I do something like, for example, I grab your wrist to pull you with me, right? And you do something like pull your hand out, right? So just like you rip your hand out of my grasp, right? You've done nothing to stop me from grabbing you again.
Right.
Right? But if instead I grab your hand and tell you to come with me, you take your free hand, jab into my eye, right? Bang, you've attacked, and now the opportunity has been given to you to run.
the School for Self-Defense will hold a free training class on January 25th at 6 p.m. IMPD is also holding 2 free classes later this month. You want to look for details in the RTV6 app.
Police say no arrests have been made in connection to the murder of an Indianapolis surgeon. RTV6 reached out to the Hendricks County Sheriff's Office for an update on the investigation into who killed Dr. Dean Marang on the night before Thanksgiving. Officials told us they may ask for help from the media or the public in the future, but the case is not at that point yet. Police have not released specifics about his death, but Marang's obituary says he confronted armed attackers and, quote, died defending his family from an act of senseless violence.
Leaders say more needs to be done to protect Black and African American women and people in the LGBTQ community from domestic violence. The Domestic Violence Network is taking steps to help make that happen. A 3-year equity plan calls for safe spaces for survivors and increased education and prevention programs. Those programs are being formed under the direction of people in those at-risk communities, like Tahana Queen Zachary, a domestic violence survivor.
To be getting out in the communities, getting out, being involved in events that involve these category of people as well, letting them know, really what's available for them to take advantage of.
Indianapolis is involved in this plan. The city's director of community violence reduction says some work is already underway.
Immigrants are welcome here. Don't give in to racist fears.
The push continues to pass a law in Indiana that would allow undocumented immigrants to legally drive. Today, supporters held a rally outside the State House. We first told you about this proposal Monday. It's a deeply personal issue for organizer Christine Lopez Silvar. She remembers her parents' fear of driving as undocumented immigrants when she was a young child.
I remember when I was little, my mom would always tell me that it was crucial for me to not miss the school bus. And it's something that like most parents tell their kids, don't miss the school bus. But the fact that my mom didn't have a driver's license, it was important for me to take the school bus to school because she did not want to risk herself driving in the city that I grew up in.
The proposal would not allow a person to vote or provide a pathway to citizenship. Supporters are calling on the chair of the House Roads and Transportation Committee to schedule a hearing for the bill.
Also covering the State House, at least one issue could divide Republicans. One of Governor Eric Holcomb's priorities is a hands-free driving law. House Speaker Brian Bosma says while he's warming up to the idea, some Republicans are not in favor of such a law, saying it may infringe on personal liberties. The governor, also a Republican, says the proposal is about saving lives.
I think everyone in their heart knows when they do it that they believe it won't happen to them. Unfortunately, we've had over 1,200 accidents last year due to a cell phone, and I'm pretty convinced that's an underreported statistic.
Democratic leaders in both the House and the Senate have said they would be in favor of a hands-free law.
A fundraiser for a beloved Indianapolis restaurant that caught fire over the weekend will be held next week. Country Kitchen is teaming up with Radio 1 for a donation drive to benefit employees of the business. The owners say they want to make sure workers have support while the restaurant is shut down. The fundraiser is from noon to 5 p.m. Tuesday at Country Kitchen at 1831 North College Avenue. You can drive by to make a cash donation. You can also donate through a GoFundMe or KeyBank account.
Robber revealed. New at 11, surveillance pictures unmask a man accused of holding up a bank while wearing a hat with the Caped Crusaders logo.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
And the impeachment of President Trump takes another step forward. Where it stands now and what comes next. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
To Monday only at Ashley Home Store. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Opening arguments will start on Tuesday in the impeachment trial of President Trump. The impeachment is now officially in the hands of the Senate. ABC's Serena Marshall has the latest from Washington.
A solemn sight on the Senate floor.
Will all senators now stand or remain standing and raise their right hand? Do you solemnly swear?
Nearly all 100 senators present as they took an oath to do impartial justice in the Senate impeachment of President Trump. One by one, coming up, signing that pledge. It came after the articles of impeachment against President Trump were presented.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. All persons are commanded to keep silent on pain of imprisonment.
The trial now in the hands of the Senate. The president maintains
it's a hoax. It's a hoax. Everybody knows that. There was nothing done wrong.
A position his legal team is expected to reiterate when the trial gets underway next week. Even as the GAO, a nonpartisan government watchdog, reported Thursday the administration's withholding of military aid did in fact break the law, that the budget office was not permitted under law to withhold funds for policy reasons. The budget office disagrees with their decision. And explosive new allegations from an associate of the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani.
See you in Ukraine soon.
Lev Parnas telling MSNBC when it came to the pressure campaign on Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden.
President Trump knew exactly what was going on. He was aware of all of my movements. I wouldn't do anything without the consent of Rudy Giuliani or the president.
President Trump denies he knows Parnas, and the White House pointing out that Parnas is under federal indictment. But these allegations have Democrats arguing the need for new witnesses and evidence.
The trial is expected to last roughly 2 to 3 weeks, but that could change if they choose to hear from new witnesses. And all it would take to make that happen, a simple majority vote, 51 senators, meaning only 4 Republicans would have to cross party lines and vote with Democrats. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Kokomo police want to know if you recognize a robbery suspect wearing a distinctive hat. Investigators say this man robbed the Security Federal Savings Bank on East Markland Avenue at around 10:30 this morning. He's wearing a hat with the Batman logo, and you can see his face clearly in these surveillance images. You can report information by calling Kokomo police at 765-456-7107.
Construction on a new road in Speedway is scheduled to begin sometime after the Brickyard 400 this week. The Speedway Town Council approved a partnership agreement with Indianapolis Motor Speedway to build an access road from Crawfordsville Road North to American Legion Post 500 on Georgetown Road. The roundabout at 16th in Georgetown has made it difficult to get to the post. The road will be built on IMS property and enter off Crawfordsville just west of Rams Pit Stop Liquors. The project will be paid for by the track and the town. Now here's a live look at the North Split from our in-dog camera. The heat is probably blasting in those cars, Kevin.
It's cold now, and it will be colder as we get past the storm system that arrives tomorrow night. Dry in the morning. Then as we get to tomorrow night, that wintry mix. When this leaves over the weekend, it will just open the door to Canadian high pressure, which will ensure temperatures don't make it out of the teens. For highs on Sunday. There may be some single-digit low temperatures. We'll be awfully close to that, as you can see. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the core of the cold air will be over central Indiana. There are advisories for this wintry mix from lower Michigan, northwest Ohio, through the Hoosier State, all the way back into Kansas and Oklahoma. That's where the moisture is tonight. It will take a while to get here. Not until tomorrow evening. 20 in Crawfordsville. They're about ready to lead the way into the teens. Temperatures overnight won't change too much from where they are now, but about 18 tomorrow morning in Lafayette and Peru. 19 in Muncie. Temperature in Indy just a little bit warmer. Through the day tomorrow, again, most of the daylight hours will be dry. Our chance for a little snow at the onset after about 4 o'clock, but more likely probably after 7. And that's also when we'll start to see a little wintry mix. 7 to 9. The blue represents the snow, the pink a little freezing rain. You see as we go 11 o'clock, ongoing snow and then the freezing rain in southwest portions of the state. By the time we get to 3 o'clock in the morning, we're starting to transition from any wintry mix to all rain. That will continue to overspread central Indiana and be with us through the first part of Saturday. This high temperature will occur in the morning with the ongoing rain. Then the bottom falls out as we head toward temperatures around 12 degrees on Sunday morning. There's the wind Saturday, very strong. First, a warm wind out of the south turns to a colder west wind, gusting 30 to 40 miles per hour. Rain first thing Saturday morning, pushes to the east by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, really impacting eastern Indiana. Then we dry out from there. Temperatures become the other story. Midday, 46 in Indy, down into the lower 40s already along the Wabash River. Then you see these temperatures just continue to fall. 24 at 7 o'clock Saturday night, and temperatures in the lower teens, if not single digits by Sunday morning. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all 3 days look dry with temperatures gradually warming up above freezing again. That'll happen in the middle of next week, but that's a nice dry stretch too. Sunday through Thursday, no major weather systems there. I guess the 12-hour period we'll worry about will be, say, 7 o'clock tomorrow night until about 7 a.m. Saturday morning.
All right, we'll watch for it there. Thank you, Kevin.
And we have Dave first now with sports. Hey, Dave.
Guys, thanks. Good evening to you. 41 games down, 41 to go. The Pacers, they've reached the halfway point of the season, winning 26 of those 41, giving them the 5th best record in the Eastern Conference. Remember, they're doing all this right now without Victor Oladipo. The latest dub of the first half came last night. The usual cast of characters leading the way. Sabonis' 32nd double-double of the season, already more than he had a year ago. And by the way, just 4 days remain. The All-Star voting sitting in Chicago next month. Why not? And Malcolm Brogdon with a big finish once again, just like he did the other night. 21 for the point guard last night. Keep in mind, Vic, he's coming back. It'll be January 29th.
Maybe people may have doubted that we could be in this spot at this time with Victor being out, and certainly all of the injuries that we've had. But guys have stepped in and been able to play some good basketball.
You know, I honestly think we're still a very underrated team, and I think we have a whole nother level to reach once Victor comes back. But we're a team that people don't talk about, people don't care about. People know we're good, but people don't count us in for winning anything special, and we can win something special.
Wait a minute, we're talking about him. They host the Timberwolves tomorrow night. Also tomorrow, semifinal round of the 101st Marion County Basketball Tournament. Southport Fieldhouse, the place to be, where 3 of the 4 teams are ranked tomorrow. It all starts tomorrow night. The top-ranked Lawrence North Wildcats facing Ben Davis at 6th. Then the nightcap has 3rd-ranked Lawrence Central facing 10th-ranked Pike. LN comes in the 12-0 record, led by Iowa recruit Tony Perkins, who leads the way, averaging 20 points per game. Keep in mind, LN hasn't won a county title since 2008. The county never gets easy, does it?
It's even harder than a sectional, because we have a very hard sectional. But there's always 2 or 3 ranked teams in the county. You've got 16 teams, so they're going to be very good.
Always a work in progress, but we know how good we can be. We know our potential between each and every guy and potential in that role. So as long as we keep growing individually and together, then we'll all be up to the potential we need to be at.
And we'll be there tomorrow night. Hey, finally tonight, first and foremost from racing, and a salute to Super Tex. Happy birthday to you. The legendary A.J. Foyt, first 4-time winner of the Indy 500. The original GOAT with 67 career wins. Turned 85 today, celebrating down at his ranch in Texas. Certainly can't wait for another upcoming season, which begins March 15th in St. Pete, guys.
All right, thanks, Dave. Coming up, the U.S. Census Bureau is hiring thousands of Hoosiers. How you can earn money while carrying out a crucial public service.
Your tickets today at DisneyOnIce.com.
While having skills and education is crucial in the job search, that does not necessarily mean you'll get hired.
Well, thankfully, there are resources to help you land the job you want. Today, the Indianapolis Urban League hosted an informational session as part of its New Beginnings program. The program offers development workshops covering topics like resume and cover letter writing, job retention strategies, and setting goals.
We've noticed that a lot of individuals have the necessary job skills, work experience. However, they are struggling with being able to successfully secure employment. So the New Beginnings program offers them the information that they need to feel empowered and to actually increase and improve their chances of securing employment.
Kimberly Simons with the Urban League says that the program has an 80% job placement rate. To learn more about the program, you can call the Indianapolis Urban League at 317-693-7603.
Tomorrow, Governor Eric Holcomb and executives from Toyota will make an economic development announcement. They're set to speak at 11:30 Friday morning at the Toyota Experience Center in Princeton. Look for updates throughout the day here on RTV6 and online at theindychannel.com.
The U.S. Census Bureau is hiring Hoosiers. The agency needs to fill 3,000 jobs at its Indianapolis office in the next 60 days. The positions include census takers and office personnel. Pay ranges from $22.50 an hour to $25 an hour. And for more information, go to hiringhoosiers.com. The goal of the census is to collect information that accurately reflects the country, and you can take part by answering questions on paper, over the phone, and for the first time ever, online. Census takers also go door to door.
Basically, we're asking, what does your household look like? Who's living there, and basic demographics about the household. Any information that we receive, whether electronically or whether in person, from respondents, those 9 questions, that's completely confidential.
That information will be used as a benchmark for many government statistics and helps determine public funding for things like hospitals, schools, and road repairs. Leaders say it's crucial that you take part in the census and answer truthfully.
If you want to know what your community needs, then you need to know what your community looks like. We like to think that we are the truth tellers of the nation. We actually show what this country looks like in that point of time, April 1st, 2020.
Responses to the 2020 census are used by state, local, and federal officials to determine funding for the next 10 years. We'll be right back here on RTV6.
For a motion for just $259 a month.
Dry and cold in the morning, just like it is right now. Snow arrives tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, an inch or less. We'll accompany that with some light freezing rain. Then it changes to rain for a wet Saturday, at least the first half of Saturday, and then very cold after that.
Get ready for it. It's on the way.
It's here.
It's here.
Cold. Just be prepared when you go outside tomorrow morning.
Thanks for joining us here at 11. Have a good night.